1-800-207-7590.
This is Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
All right, great friends. What's going on? It's Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. If you're just getting with us, we were having a conversation about our fantasy football league. Now, JD Diocampo, longtime Great Friends listener, he is actually the commissioner of this league. Do I have this right, Alex?
He is now. Who won last year? Did he win last year? Did he beat me last year?
Is that how it went down?
I think he might have won. Yeah, he did win because he won the Atari. And I was mixing like F1 in my head because there's an F1 team called AlphaTauri. But yeah, he won the fantasy football league, and he saw how I was hating on Browner all year for his commissioner skills, and he's like, "Let me take over." And Browner's like, "Go for it, bro. Do your thing.
All you, baby.
All you, baby.
All you, baby."
So, all right. So I have a question though. So JD's running the league, and there's 14 available teams.
Well,
correct?
me and him have been discussing how many we want to use. I say we go to 14 because that to me is the most you should have in a fantasy football league.
Okay.
Personally.
Okay. And Browner, why do you want 16?
I only did 16 because that was the most you could do. I would have went to 20. I want more people involved as much as possible. I want people to have a good time. I want people to be a part of it. And that was my way of doing that by adding more people. The league, if there are 30 teams in the NFL, why can't you have 30 fantasy league teams?
Well, there's 32 teams in the NFL. Why can't we have 32 teams?
Well, I'm saying 30 because there has to be a quarterback left over.
Oh, gotcha. So JD is running the league.
Yes.
Now there was a controversy earlier in the season where Tommy Pham Biatch slapped Jock Peterson.
I ain't never seen nobody bitch slipped.
No, I screwed up the word actually.
That's a hazard.
Well, I tried to say biatch rather than bitch, and by saying biatch, then it turned into slip rather than slap. So I should just say bitch slap.
Yeah.
So Tommy Pham walks up on Jock Peterson to give him a slap all over fantasy football.
Right.
Are we a civil group of people playing fantasy football together?
Yes. I mean,
we're a virtual group of people, so that helps.
We ain't meeting in person.
Okay, so
this will be an online. This is going to be an online draft.
Okay.
I'm petitioning it, which it will happen because if I tell JD this is what we got to do, then which is what we got to do. So I am, because I know Scott, you're out of town next week, pretty much all week. So I am trying to make the draft Wednesday before opening night on Thursday night kickoff.
Okay. So here's a question for you though. So this is a Yahoo league, right?
It is now, yeah.
And the reason I know that is because I keep getting emails saying something like, "Hey, you're invited to this Yahoo league."
That's where you should be joining. Yes.
Okay, so I should join that via email.
Yes, I should too. I haven't done it yet, but yes.
Okay,
I've already done it.
All right, so let me just ask a question here.
Question.
So if JD is going to be our commissioner,
yes.
Let me just assume, Alex, you're in this league. Browner, you're in.
I'm already in. I was the first one.
Okay, JD.
JD was the first one, but.
Okay, me. That's 4 people. That's 4 teams so far. Okay, that means that if we're going to play 14 people, that means we have 10 available spaces to play in the Great Friends Fantasy Football League. Do I have this correct?
Correct.
Okay. So do we want to put out invitations, or do we want to say, hey, first 10 people who are listening on 1090, watching on YouTube, catching up to us on TV, here's our email. The first 10 people that contact us, you get in the league. Do we want to do that?
Here's what I want to do.
Okay, I'm curious.
I do not want to invite specific people.
Okay, why is that?
Because I want to broaden the people that get involved with the show. If we keep inviting the same old people, it make it like it's like too exclusive. Like it's Joe, it's Tommy, it's like the same dudes with nothing against them. I love them. It's Neil, it's
Juliana.
So what I want to do is this.
Rusty.
Hear me out. If you want to be part of this team or of this league, you email us. I won't say the email yet, but you email us and say, I want in on this league. We then get every single person that says, I want in on this league. So if it's 1,000, it's 1,000, whatever. Then we just do a random draw of 10 people.
Okay. Can we do the random draw on the air?
Exactly. I'll put all the names on an online draw. I'm sure it exists somewhere. And if not, I just
Why can't we just take all the names, write them down, put all the names on a piece of paper, put them in a hat,
because
and then you pull them out one by one. Everybody's sitting on the edge of their seat. Did I make it into the Great Friends Fantasy Football League?
Because it's 2022 and I can just do it online and it'll be a digital thing and it'll do a little selection for us.
Okay, because it's 2022.
Or we could assign like a number, and I guarantee you there's like like the lotto balls. We could do like our own lotto. I guarantee you that exists.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we do it on the show though?
Yes.
Okay.
I can show my screen. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We don't need to get a hat with names and papers. Like it's 2022. We'll do it
Right,
digital.
I'm feeling you.
That's what I think that would be the best, because even if we reach out to specific people, it doesn't guarantee they're going to be very involved in the league, because people tail off. YouTube will tail off by week 3. So,
right.
Yeah. I just think that's the best way to get everybody that wants to be in could email us. We'll put everybody in a random draw, and then that's how we get the participants.
All right. So here's what I want to do. I want to talk to everybody who's listening on 1090 on radio. I want to talk to everybody that's watching on Channel 4 San Diego. That's our home base with Cox Yourview. All the chatlins in the YouTube chat, because you guys are you're the closest. I mean, we're together daily. We're communicating not just on the show, but also in the YouTube chat. For those of you that listen on audio podcast, if you listen on delay, you're gonna have to get in. But what Alex is doing here is very smart. He's saying that we won't have the fantasy draft until Wednesday, the week before the NFL kicks off on Thursday when the Rams host the Bills. That is September 8th is the game. So then the Wednesday draft would be September 7th, Wednesday evening. Right, Alex?
I'm aiming for that day, yes, because you're out of town.
Right. So Wednesday, September 7th would be our draft. Okay.
And I'm out of town Monday and Tuesday of that week.
Okay.
That's Labor Day on Monday, which is a holiday. Tuesday,
off.
I'm off. And then Wednesday, everybody's back. Everybody's ready to go, ready for football season.
Yeah.
Getting down dirty. And then at that point, we know all the roster cuts. We know who's hurt right before opening game. It's the best day to do an online draft, which will take an hour of everybody's time.
Okay. All right. I'm in. So Wednesday, September 7th, Great Friends Fantasy Football Draft. We have 4 members already committed. We have 10 open spots to play in our fantasy football league. And as far as a draft goes, that's all happening online. Like we're not all like connected by Zoom. We're not all in the same room, right? Like everybody's doing this online.
I can send out a Zoom for the people that are in the league, but it's Yahoo. I'm sure. I haven't done Yahoo Fantasy in a while, but I'm sure they have a draft room that you log in and then you draft online.
Okay. All right. So we need 10 players. We're looking for 10 great friends that are committed to a fantasy football league. And I'll just say this. We usually give away some really cool prizes. I mean, last year you mentioned giving away like an Atari 2600 system, which is kind of a fun old school, video game thing, console. And I think we gave away a bunch of other stuff too last year, didn't we?
Browner, what'd you give away?
Fire sticks.
Right.
This year, I think we should definitely do. I can talk to FT and we can do a fantasy football, Kaplan and Crew, champion hoodie and T-shirt.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I would also say that we should get with a local brewery and give away beer to some participants.
I don't know about that. I feel like there's a legality problem there.
Give away
alcohol.
Beer.
We could give away Tory Holistics gift cards.
There you go.
It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea at all. All right, so let's do that. We'll come up with a complete prize package.
Why don't we do a free mortgage from Gary Cooper, a free Mazda, free IVs, $100 in playing at 7 Mile, a free grill from West Coast Barbecue, and gift card. We'll just give things away from our sponsors.
I think it's a great idea. Actually, what's a really, really smart idea? We should talk to Brian about this when Browner's down there broadcasting on Thursday. We should talk to Brian about, would you be willing to give away for the grand prize winner a small big green egg, or maybe it's a gas grill or whatever it is, or maybe it's $100 gift card to West Coast BBQ, whatever it is.
Would Ruthie be willing to give $1,000 gift card or something?
I don't know about
that's a
1,000.
lot.
I mean, grills
but
at
she-
West Coast are,
Yeah, no, I think we gotta, but let's do that. Let's go to Ruthie
we'll figure it out.
at Tory Holistics.
Mhm.
Let's go to Brian at West Coast BBQ. Let's talk to the people from 7 Mile about, like some free play. Yeah, let's do that.
Sammy's gift card.
Yeah, or hey, let's also talk to iThrive. Maybe we do like a free IV. Like maybe the winner of the Fantasy Football League gets the Kaplan and Crew sponsor package.
Yeah.
And like winner gets a $100 gift card to this, and this.
Mhm.
Second place gets a $50 gift card to this, and that. And then third place gets $25 gift card. But the prize package is all from our sponsors.
Yes.
I
I
like
think
it.
that's a great idea. I like
So
that
we're
very
gonna
much.
do the email thing, or do you guys want to? What do you guys want to do?
I think we should give away the show email. I think we should put it out there for everybody.
Mhm.
And if you want to play in our fantasy football league, email us. Then next week we will we'll tell everybody how we're going to do this. I guess should we announce the winners on Wednesday, or should we announce the winners this Friday?
No,
The
we'll
players.
Yeah, we could do it Friday. We'll do
Yeah.
the live draw on Friday.
Yeah, we'll do. Okay, good. I love working stuff out on the air. I do. I love it. Everybody's here. Everybody's engaged. Everybody's concentrating. I love working this stuff out on the air. So 10 people, we need 10 people to join our fantasy football league. We'll give you an email. Send us your name. Tell us that you want to play. We'll put everybody's name into some kind of a drawing. Alex says there's some sort of a digital version of all of this. And on Friday of this week, yeah, I know. If not, we'll do it old-fashioned way. And then on Friday of this week, we will announce the 10 names of people who have been welcomed into the Great Friends Fantasy League. So if you're a chatlin in YouTube, Neil, Joe, Juliana, Rusty, the list goes on and on. You have every opportunity to join. It's just that we're welcoming other people potentially as well. What's the email address?
Email address is show@kaplanandcrew.com.
Yeah.
Show at kaplanandcrew.com. Show at kaplanandcrew.com. There you have it. Okay. We are in the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. If you love great food, Sammy's Restaurant and Bar over here. If you love great table games, blackjack, poker, and others over here, completely smoke-free environment and only 7 minutes from downtown San Diego. That's 7 Mile Casino and 7milecasino.com. Okay. A lot of stuff I would like to get to today, including a bunch of football content, a bunch of baseball stuff as well. There's a big brawl at a football game that I want to get to because I know we're going to do some fight analysis. We'll get there as well. We have a great highlight of the day. All of this still to come. But I would like to start with something that we didn't get to yesterday because we were out at that golf tournament. Over the weekend, I received a tweet from a longtime great friend of the show. His name is Joseph McCray. Now, some of you may know that name, and others will be like, I don't know who that guy is. But you may know him as the San Diego sign guy. Joseph McCray, the sign guy, worked with us when the Chargers moved because his goal was to humiliate Dean Spanos. So if you recall, Joseph raised a bunch of money through like a GoFundMe account, and people were putting their money in. And every week, Joseph was sending out a different sign behind a plane to fly over the then Chargers soccer stadium to attempt to further humiliate the Chargers because it wasn't bad enough that there were 30,000 Chiefs fans in the stadium. Joseph wanted to fly the plane overhead. And if you guys remember, fellas, we would have a conversation every week like, what do we want the banner to say behind the plane, right? Mm-hmm. So this past weekend, I get this tweet from Joseph, and he has a picture of a Padres fan at the Padres game, also with a form of protest in the form of a sign in some ways. You know, there's a kid sitting at the Padres game, and he's wearing a Tatis jersey. But on the back of the Tatis jersey, he's crossed out Tatis's name, and he's crossed out his number, and he's made his Tatis jersey into, as I recall, a Soto jersey. Alex, do you have that photo that you can show everybody?
Yes.
All right, take a look at this. So on the back of the jersey, it's a brown jersey. It says Tatis Jr. This kid has put blue tape over the back of it, and he wrote in, I think it says Soto. It's hard for me to see it from here.
It does.
And instead of the number 23, he put in blue tape a 2 to make it a Soto jersey, right? So Joseph's tweet says, I just got to say this, and I'm going to read this to you. If you're showing up to the game like this, you're an embarrassment as a Padres fan. Not only are you seeking attention for yourself, you're embarrassing the Padres as well. And then he tagged me in the next tweet and said, hey, I'd love to hear your feedback, me and a bunch of other people. And I'm going to just be honest with you, man. Joseph McCray's a great guy, and I love him, and I really enjoyed working with him as the San Diego sign guy. But I must tell you, I completely disagree with his take on this. If you're a kid who bought a Tatis jersey and you're furious that Tatis has completely screwed over your ball club and the fan base, and your form of protest is covering Tatis's name and writing in Soto and covering up the 3 and putting in a 2, and you're making your Tatis jersey into a Soto jersey, you're making a protest, you're voicing your displeasure, but you're doing it in the form of a sign. That's what Joseph McCray did for years. He used a sign to publicly protest his displeasure with the Chargers. This young kid whose picture we're looking at, who altered the Tatis jersey, he did the exact same thing that Joseph did. The one difference, of course, is the Padres haven't moved to LA. The Chargers did. But why can't you express your displeasure with a player who has completely selfishly screwed over the Padres team, the organization, the fan base? Why can't you publicly voice your displeasure by altering the jersey? Why is that an embarrassment as a Padre fan? Because Tatis is going to come back next year and everybody's going to kiss his ass all over again? To me, my opinion, Tatis is going to have to earn trust of the organization, trust of his teammates, trust of the fan base. He got a long way to go. And I have absolutely zero problem with this young man voicing his displeasure in that form of a protest. And Joseph, I love you, man, but I completely, utterly, vehemently disagree that this guy is an embarrassment of a fan. I think this guy is a great fan. And he's saying, I'm not just going to kiss your ass because you're coming back. And Joseph sent out another tweet, which is him going to a game, a Padres game, wearing a Tatis jersey and standing in front of the Tony Gwynn statue. And he says, this is how I'm pulling in today. Tatis has a no trade clause until 2028. The Padres can't void the contract without the Major League Baseball Players Association stepping in, who will demand that the Padres pay the guaranteed money. Tatis will be with the team next year. Time heals all, hopefully for some fans too. Guess what, Joseph? That's your perspective. You're going to go there and rock a Tatis jersey? Do your thing. But for the other kid, he put Soto's name on the back of that Tatis jersey, and I think his protest is well done. So, Joseph, I don't think the kid was an embarrassment to the Padres. I don't think the kid is embarrassing the Padres as an organization. They've already done that on their own, and Tatis has already done that to them. So, I disagree. I like the kid's protest. What do you guys think?
I think for this particular segment, I'm going to speak very frankly. And I like Joseph. He's a good guy. But you're an embarrassment with this take, bro. And I'm telling you this because I've been down this road. I've made some takes myself that, I'm of the ilk that I don't take no takes back. I just take it how the hate comes. But this is dumb on your behalf. So now you're telling people that the person who let everybody down should suffer no consequences? This person that let everybody down, they're not now allowed to voice their frustration, whether it be through covering his name up on a jersey or burning his jersey. Yeah, he's coming back. But what he did hurt the moment. We now know with this kid, next year's not guaranteed, whether it be via motorcycle or whether it be via shoulder or whether now it be via steroid. Next year's not guaranteed. So as much as you think that contract is guaranteed, there already been 3 violations of it. So any argument with the Players Association, see you in court. But again, they're not going to go that far. They're going to work with them going forward because that's what's in the best interest of the team. But each individual fan will carry their water how they want to do it. Now, if you want to do it in that particular way, that's good for you. But I don't like fans like you who are assuming that we should all forgive him now without vocalizing any anger or negative energy toward the situation because he created that. You're part of the problem why he acts like that because there are a bunch of people like you out there who will allow him to do whatever he wants and go, oh, well, he'll be back next year. So, no, dude, you're part of the problem. So slow down with all the standing in front of the Tony Gwynn statue with the Tatis jersey on. You can pull up however you want to pull up, bro. It do you. But don't tell somebody else how to do them.
Okay. I like that take. I do. I think we're on the same page. Alex, I really want to hear what you have to say about this. Stick around, everybody. We are in the 7 Mile Casino studio, 7milecasino.com. I would be curious to also be in the chat room, in the live chat with all of our great friends, chatlins on YouTube. What do you guys think about all this? I mean, should one fan be telling everybody else that they're an embarrassment because they're kissing ass to Tatis? Shouldn't you be disappointed? Can't you protest the way you want? Let me get Alex's opinion. Coming right back.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
Let's welcome back to Main Street Living tax attorney Adam Brewer. Adam, thanks so much for joining us again.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
Now, it might seem weird that we're having you on because it's not necessarily tax season right now, but what are some things that viewers can do to get ahead of next tax season?
Yeah, you're right. I apologize. I think most people would prefer to just forget about taxes for the summer. But yeah, if you have some downtime, always a good opportunity to kind of get ahead for next season. So really what I'm preaching is, just become more knowledgeable about your taxes. Everyone come tax season can benefit from having a little more knowledge and just being a little bit less stressed about the whole process of getting their taxes filed and getting them paid. All this information is available online, but it's really a mess. So it just gets back to my first point, just start with your own taxes. And then if you need to dig in on one or two issues, it's just a Google search away.
Gotcha. Google search away now, let's just say someone is interested, like Danielle is interested in becoming more knowledgeable about her taxes. Like, how should someone like her get started?
Yeah. So Danielle, you're interested. You should start with, your last year's tax return. So I'd say get out your last year's return. Form 1040s, going to be the first page there. And really look and see what lines are populated. And then, make sure you understand those roles. So if you have dividend income and you see, what's a qualified dividend, go in and figure it out. Likewise, if you see anything that's missing. So, a lot of taxpayers now are paying a ton in student loan interest. And then they look at their tax return and they go like, whoa, that's limited to $2,500. That would be a role that you'd want to dig in and really figure out how it impacts your actual tax return. When in doubt, save for retirement. It's either, for most taxpayers, it's either going to save you money today, tax-wise, or it's going to help you reduce your tax burden in the future.
Awesome.
So important. Thank you. Thank you so much, Adam. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
Hey, great friends. It's Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man coming to you from the 7 Mile Casino studios, 7milecasino.com. mentioned this yesterday and mentioned it earlier today that Brady Hoke, the head coach of the San Diego State Aztec football team, is going to be with us. So let's get him in because he's a busy guy. He got things going on. Coach Brady Hoke returns to Kaplan and Crew. Hey, Coach.
What's going on, Scott? How you been?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for being here today. I know we're, T-minus under 2 weeks until the season kicks off. Just curious, give me what you thought of how the stadium performed for the scrimmage on Saturday evening. We'll talk about the team, but what'd you think? I know you've been kind of in and out of the place as it was getting built. What'd you think?
Well, it's beautiful. I mean, they did a great job. You look at the different amenities to the stadium itself, and as a football coach, you really care about what's between the sidelines and all that kind of stuff. But it's a great stadium. It's a great venue. Really excited to open it up on September 3rd. Our guys, the players, absolutely loved it, and so we're excited about it, and we're gonna go out there against Arizona and kick it off and try and win a football game.
Coach, isn't it amazing when you think about it? And I don't know if you've ever pondered this at all, but to think about you being the coach that has helped lead San Diego State to where it is today, meaning your first stint as head coach, then Rocky took over and picked it up from where you had left it off. And then you get this opportunity to be a head coach. It's such a rarity to be a head coach for a second time at the same place. But not only are you the head coach again, but you're in this time period where, wow, not only am I the head coach for the second time and we're a really good program, we got ourselves a brand new football stadium. That's pretty damn cool.
Well, there's no doubt. And, I can remember in 09 and 10, there was talk about a stadium, possibly for the Aztecs. And, then coming back with Coach Long and with Rocky and being here and, the things that and the success, of the guys who have played here, it is surreal in some ways, but it's exciting. I mean, we loved our time out here the first time. We can't wait, when the opportunity happened to come back and then become the head coach again. Laura and I were, excited, and having this opportunity with the new stadium is absolutely mind blowing to some degree.
Yeah, I would think so. So all in all, it's an amazing time for San Diego State football. But I will ask you this, Coach, because when you did leave San Diego State and you went to Michigan, I mean, that's 100,000 people every Saturday, and that's, Big Ten. You know what's happening in college football right now with USC and UCLA eventually saying that they're leaving for the Big Ten. I say saying that because who knows what's going to happen with UCLA and what I don't know what's going to happen there necessarily.
Correct.
But I'm curious because my big gripe as a San Diego State football supporter, my big gripe is the conference isn't good enough, and thus the home schedule, because of the conference, isn't good enough. Look into the crystal ball. Do you have any idea of where this thing is headed?
I wish I knew. JD would have a better idea than I do, but it's a whole different era of college football when you look at the NIL and decentralization. I mean, they're talking about having staffs as big as you want to have, and so you could have a whole recruiting staff that are going out all the time, and then guys who are just coaching football. And so, there's a lot of things going on. The NIL being a big part of it. Depending on how we keep going, are they going to make it just one big Power 5 league of some sort? And what should be great, and we'd like to be part of, obviously. But I think this program deserves to be part of that. But there's a lot going on, as you know. Money has a lot to say in what's going to happen. You look at the Big Ten, what they just signed for TV contract wise. I mean, it's unbelievably incredible. And, we're going to do everything we can do to prove ourselves.
Brady Hoke is here. It's Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. Brady Hoke, the head football coach of San Diego State, is with us. Grande Brown Man, feel free to jump right in. Coach,
Yes.
let me just want to set one thing up, which is let's start talking about this team. I mean, let's find out what you got this year. Let's preview it for everybody. Alex, you want to jump in?
Well, I think anytime you talk about San Diego State football, the biggest question here is always like we traditionally running backs always excellent, running game always excellent, defensively always excellent. But now this year, a little hype on the quarterback position with Burmeister coming from VTech. How's he looking so far, Coach?
Well, I think I'm really excited about Braxton. I think we all are. It was great to get him, and you watched what he did. I think he had 24 starts at Virginia Tech. So you had a lot of tape to look at and those kind of things. And then, he got here in January. He got in the weight room with our guys, and he absolutely earned the respect of the players on the team. And that is always huge for any position, but particularly when you're talking about your quarterback. And he was getting together and throwing with guys, him and Jesse and Tyrell, and the receivers would get together on their own. And what he did in the weight room, how he responded to all the winter conditioning at 6 a.m. And he did a great job. And he's really earned the respect of the players. He's earned the respect of the coaches. And I'm really excited to see him. We get to see him every day a little bit, but get to see him in game time.
Well, let's just jump into that for a quick second. Browner, excuse me. I'm so sorry. But Coach, Braxton Burmeister, this is an interesting story that anybody who maybe doesn't know. This kid was a big-time star and a big recruit at a La Jolla Country Day. He went to Oregon. He started as a true freshman at Oregon, as I recall. Now, did he precede Justin Herbert at Oregon?
He, when I was at Oregon for a year, Herbert was a freshman. So I can't tell you. Braxton was not there. He had already been there and left.
Oh, okay.
Or I left.
Okay. But the bottom line is, though, is Burmeister's a big-time recruit at La Jolla Country Day, scholarship to Oregon, starts as a freshman, transfers to Virginia Tech, plays a couple of years at Virginia Tech, and ultimately comes home to finish his career at San Diego State. I don't even remember how many years he's removed from high school. Do you know, Coach?
Well, I think this is his 5th year, so it would have been 16 or 17.
Gotcha. Okay, well, this is a great local story of a kid who's coming home to finish his career. Excuse me, Browner, please jump in.
They were teammates for 2 years.
Oh, really? They were teammates at Oregon for 2 years?
Yes.
So Burmeister,
right after Coach left.
So Burmeister started in front of Herbert, I think.
Well,
Crazy.
I think he may have, and then I think it turned the other way.
Yeah, and I think that's why he transferred.
Yes.
Right. Is he a potential NFL player, Coach?
Sure he is.
Yeah.
Sure he is. He's got that kind of talent, when you look at, how he mechanically and how he throws the ball. He's a really good athlete, runs really well. So we're excited about it.
Okay, cool. Brady Hoke is here, the head coach at San Diego State. Browner, excuse me. Please get back into it.
Coach, we haven't spoken to you since conference realignment happened in the Pac-12. Is that on your radar? Obviously, you've got a lot of day-to-day things that you need to focus on, but has anyone come to you about any conference movement? Because obviously we heard from the commissioner of the Mountain West saying if San Diego State was to join the Pac-12, he would wish them the best. So is that something that is on your radar at this point in time, or has had anyone spoken to you about that?
Well, JD, it really is on the athletic director and the president of the university, more on their radar. I've got 110 guys here that keep me busy, but we'll talk about it. And I have no idea what the thought is. I think there is some thought when you look at where we're at, and them wanting another team in the Pac-12 or the Big 12. I think those things will keep continuing to go on. I know there's some more TV issues because let's face it, that's going to drive whatever happens, and it's going to be the money. It's going to be what's best for the respective conferences as far as TV goes.
And one other thing, I see Coach Saban just got a raise, big fella. You looking to get a little more, get some more chips coming your way?
I tell you, we would take it if that would happen. But, I'll be honest, but we're pretty happy where we're at, and I really, to me, it's the staff. It's their families and the guys on the staff who, during the season they're working 18 hours a day, and whatever we can do to help them is really what my position is. Let's put it that way.
All right, we're talking to Brady Hoke. He's the head football coach at San Diego State. You know this, Coach. We talk about your quarterback situation, and to get a transfer like Burmeister, and like I said, great story of a kid coming home to finish his career.
Yeah.
If you could, off the top of your head, based on the summer and the way things have gone, could you give us a couple of names of guys that you're excited about? Maybe guys that we don't necessarily know yet.
Can we get Jesse Matthews a wide receiver number, Coach?
Can we get Jesse Matthews a wide receiver number?
Yeah, please. It always throws me off. He's out there like catching everything and making touchdowns, and he's rocking 45. I'm confused, Coach.
Well, hey, look, that was done way before I got here, and we did have some numbers that were a little out there. We had 93 and 96 number, and as wide receivers, where to me those are D-line numbers. So I think we'll get ourselves back aligned. But you talk about Jesse. He's impressed me since day one when I got here as the D-line coach, and I didn't even know who he was. I was more trying to get to know the defensive linemen that were here and coach them up and all that kind of stuff. But you're talking about an impressive guy and a guy who works his tail off. He loves the game. He's a great teammate, and he's a tremendous person. And he really, I'm excited about Tyrell Shavers, who came here from Mississippi State. Really started at the end of the year, had a really good year, a wide receiver. Really was significant in the kicking game, blocked a couple punts last year, did some great things for us on the punt team also. So, those two I'm really excited about. Chance Bell, Cam Davis, Jordan Bird, and Jalen Armstead. I think Keenan Kristen, as a running back, they came from USC. Mark Redmond, a tight end, came to us from Washington with Cooper McDonald, Caden's brother. They were roommates. And Mark, we had tried to recruit out of high school out of Orange County, and he decided to come home, basically, and really excited about what he can do. And like I said, Cooper and Caden, both the McDonald brothers, and then the Tuvai brothers. We have Jonah, and then his brother Justice played at Hawaii, and now he's with us, and he makes our defense better, and so does Cooper.
Coach, this is a very broad question, but how has this whole new world of NIL helped or hurt the recruiting class?
I already hear a giggle. I already hear a
yeah.
I think there's something that at some point has to be, there's got to be some rules at some point. I think at SMU, their basketball team and their football team, each guy is getting $38,000.
Wow.
For the year. Now think about that. And you're recruiting against them. And you don't quite have that same NIL, program for one reason or another. I mean, believe me, we've I really athletic department has done a really good job. Our guys have done a really good job. But, you know, I'm giving you SMU and they're Conference USA. Well, let's talk about the SEC. You know, that's a whole nother animal. So I don't know if it's great for football. I think when they did the transfer portal and the NIL at the same time, I really think it maybe pushed the landscape way out of bounds. So, you know, that's kind of where I'm at. You know, we're working it and doing it, you know, and, you know, we'll see. But it's not one of my funnest things in the world. I do think that there's some opportunities for guys, and they've got to take advantage of it. But you know, it's different. It's different than when, you know, shoot, I played for sure.
You know what's funny about this whole conversation, Coach, is that if you don't immediately just love NIL, and if you don't just think this is the greatest thing ever that players are finally getting paid, people will ridicule you, or me for that matter. Oh, you're just some old guy who, you know, who doesn't want to go with change. I know
I'm one
you
of
are.
those people.
The thing is this. The thing I don't love about it is, and this is what other people do love about it, is it's created free agency in football. That's all.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
And when you're a kid and you're a top superstar quarterback and you've made a commitment to a school, but then you go out and you sign with an agent, and now you're going to go reopen up your recruiting because now you're just saying, who pays me the most? I don't know if this is necessarily healthy for college football. I know it's healthy for individual players, but it's not necessarily healthy for creating a team environment, I don't think. But what do I know? I'm now an old guy.
You know, I'm a little bit of a hypocrite because I can tell you I'm not real big on the transfer portal. Well, we took 7 guys out of the transfer portal, and they're all going to play for us. And I'm excited they're here. So that's a little bit, you know, being a hypocrite, but it's changed, you know. And the other thing, and I'm believe me, I'm happy for the players. I really am. But they've also been getting stipends now for about 8 years. I don't know, 8 years maybe, might be more than that. And so that's a little different, you know. I mean, obviously, so there was some, I don't know, pay, if you wanted to call it that. I don't know if that's the right thing to call it.
Coach,
yes.
Coach, when you have a multi-billion-dollar industry selling jerseys and likeness and Nick Saban, as we spoke of, making $10-11 million a year by the year 2030. Obviously, the level of pay is different as you go up. But when these players are getting a small stipend, when the head coach is getting $11 million, the assistant coaches are getting, I think it was $2 million when Nick Saban staffers makes $2 million.
Yeah.
It makes it hard for an athlete to then not color outside the lines when it comes to what happened with, let's say, a Tyrell Pryor, for a guy selling his own equipment for tattoos.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to sit and say that these kids should be thrown on the grill by the NCAA, but a coach can make as much as he can in Aflac commercials when the kids are sacrificing legs, arms, necks, and backs for the university.
Yeah, and I think you're right there, you know, but the one thing, it's obviously different everywhere.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
That's the issue.
So that's my biggest issue. How are we going to, you know, make this thing fair for everybody?
Okay, then let me ask you a better question. Do you trust the NCAA to regulate it?
They're not going to. They don't want anything to do with it.
Right.
They don't want to be sued. They're getting sued all the time. They don't want to touch it.
Yeah, and listen, I know we got about a 30 seconds.
And they want the federal government to do it. Hell, the federal government's got enough problems right now.
Well, Coach,
Depending
this
on what
is
state it is, might not be a government.
no, but it's just upset. It's sad in this way, and I'll just say it like this because we got to hustle, and I know you got to go too, Coach. It's just that it's unfortunate because if you're San Diego State, how will you compete with Alabama? You can't. How will you compete with USC? I mean, that's the issue is that you're going to go recruit a kid who may want to stay home, but wait a second, somebody else is offering a whole ton of money. A kid's gone. That's the hard part.
Yep, it is. It is.
Can't wait for the season though to kick off. Forget about all this nonsense.
But hey,
let's go play football.
Guys, we're ready.
One more scrimmage on Saturday, right?
We can't wait. We cannot wait till the 3rd. I'll promise you that. And the one thing about that stadium, and I don't know if anybody's interested, but there's more beer vendors in that stadium than I have ever seen.
I am interested.
I'm telling you, it's amazing. So
it should lead to louder crowds.
Yeah,
right. Let's create the sound and the smell and the look of college football. Coach Hoke, it is great to see you always.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
The Rich Eisen Show airs Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. An engaging blend of insightful football expertise with an offbeat mix of humor and pop culture while continuing to attract the most recognizable names in sports and entertainment. Only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Please welcome 4 of the 5 San Diego County Teachers of the Year from the 2021-2022 school year. From Central Elementary School, Laura Reyes. From Westville High School, Tiffany Jokers. From San Jose Elementary School, Jacqueline Jordan. And from St. Joe Southwest Middle School, Todd Sanders. Teachers, please deliver the pitch. San Diego County Teachers of the Year with their honorary pitch.
The 2022 San Diego Loyal season continues live on Your View and YourView.com. Watch the San Diego Loyal host the Oakland Roots SC Wednesday, August 24th at 7 p.m. Come join us at Tyrell Stadium and support the San Diego Loyal as they continue their bid for the 2022 USL Championship. Tickets are available. San Diego Loyal versus the Oakland Roots SC Wednesday, August 24th on Your View.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Listen to the Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the Mightier1090.com.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
Let's go ahead and take a look at your San Diego Padres baseball updates.
The Padres got the win against the Nationals on Monday night, 2-1. Josh Bell homered in his second straight game. He gave the Padres the advantage in the 6th inning with a 2-run blast. Ha-Seong Kim showed some heroics in the 6th inning as well, getting an impressive out on a foul pop-up that had him running toward the warning track and the wall, but still making the play for the out. Sean Manaea went 7 innings, allowing 1 run on a homer from Nelson Cruz. He had 5 hits with 4 strikeouts. San Diego takes on the Cleveland Guardians tonight with Mike Clevenger on the mound.
That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View. You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
What's going on to all the great friends that watch the show on television here on Cox Your View? What you're about to see will never be heard on radio, won't be seen on YouTube, no audio podcast. This is just for you here on Cox Your View. Hey to all the great friends out there that watch on Cox Your View. You might be in San Diego, Orange County, LA, Santa Barbara. We're happy to have everybody here. What we love to do in this time is it's a Cox exclusive. This is stuff you're only going to see here on Cox. Not going to hear this on radio on 1090. Not going to see it on our YouTube channel. Not going to hear it on any of the audio podcast platforms. This is just for you guys that watch on Cox Your View. A really big show coming to the Scottish Rites Event Center in Mission Valley in San Diego. If you love trading sports memorabilia or buying or selling, this is going to be the place for you. It's coming up on August 6th and 7th. And here's the guy running the entire operation. Here's Joe Oliveri, known to his friends as Joe O from SD Collectibles, who's running this show. Hey, Joe, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, Scott. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure, man. Let's talk about this. Tell us about why people need to know about your show, SD Collectibles, on August 6th and 7th.
Well, we have a great show coming up August 6th and 7th at the Scottish Rite Event Center, like you had mentioned, right there in Mission Valley. We have over 130 tables that'll be at this show. We also have Paul Lowe signing autographs on Saturday. We have Steve Garvey and Raleigh Fingers, which will be there on Sunday doing in-person autographs. We just have a really great collection of some of the biggest and best of the community, the card collecting community, coming out there August 6th and 7th, showing their cards, showing their collectibles. There'll be a lot of memorabilia out there. And really what we look at it as is something for every collector.
Yeah, when you say every collector, is it, from what I understand and looking at the website, sdcollectibles.com, it's not just purely sports cards. Is that right?
That's correct, Scott. We have sports cards, memorabilia, autographed items, quite a few unique autographed items and memorabilia. But we also have Pokemon, a large selection of Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic the Gathering. There'll be vendors there that have comic books. As I mentioned, there's several autograph signers that will be there. We also have JSA, which will be on site for both Saturday and Sunday, doing in-person authentication, same-day services.
Well, that's awesome, because for me, the one thing I know I'm most interested in, and I know a lot of people who are watching right now have the same thing. If you've got a piece of sports memorabilia that you are willing to part with, but you don't have authentication, like I have this Marshall Faulk football, the year that he broke the record where he was over 1,000 yards rushing and receiving for the Rams in 2000. I've also got this basketball sitting right here that is signed by every Los Angeles Laker of the 2002 World Championship team. So Shaq, Kobe, Phil Jackson. I don't really honestly know if they're authentic. I think they are. It's just I don't have the paperwork. So I can bring this stuff to your show and get it authenticated on site. Is that right?
That's correct. You can bring your autographed items, whether it's memorabilia such as those basketballs, footballs, baseballs, bats, cards, photos. You can bring them right to the show Saturday or Sunday. Stop by the JSA booth. Chris would be happy to help you there. He'll be on site with his team, and they can authenticate different items that you have that have autographs so that you can find out, one, if it's real, and two, it just gives it that much more value when it is authenticated.
What if I get it authenticated and I want to sell it? Is there a way for a private person like myself? I say private, I mean, like, I'm not in the business. Can I sell this stuff?
Yeah, you sure can. There's a couple different ways to do that. I mean, obviously, there's some online ways to do that take a lot of time and a whole different set of really procedures. But one of the great things that you can do, we have tables available and we have options for everyone. We do have some vendor tables available, 6, 8, and 12-foot tables. You can bring your items down there to sell. You can bring your cards, your memorabilia, and so on. If you have some memorabilia items like you're showing there, Scott, you can get them authenticated right at JSA, bring them over to your table, and you can put them out there for all of the attendees to see and see if you can make a deal on selling it or possibly trading it for something that you have a little more interest in.
All right. Well, while you're talking, I know Alex is putting up on the screen for everybody the website. It's sdcollectibles.com, sdcollectibles.com. Information about where, when, who's going to be there signing autographs, how you can get authenticated, how you can buy a table and space if you want to sell your own collection. Joe, this is going to be a fun show. This is going to be really cool. Give us any final thoughts, things you need people to know before you roll.
Well, one of the great things is it's a family-friendly event. When you come to our shows, you'll see a lot of people, both the parents and the kids, showing them around because there's something for everyone. There's bargain boxes of cards that are anywhere from 50 cents to $1 up. And then if you're one of those bigger collectors that likes to find those unique cards, maybe those graded cards, those Gem Mint 10, there's going to be thousands and thousands of those on display, as well as what's called the trading card game, the TCG, with Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, and so on, comic books, as I mentioned, autographed memorabilia and such. If I could give a special thank you to some of those in our community that have helped support our event. Stacked Packs, big supporter and sponsor of our event. Poke Familia, J-Lo Collectibles, SD Sportsmen, and OC Dugout. Those folks really helped support our event, and they'll be at the show. So if you have an opportunity to come out and attend, come by and say hello to those folks that have vendor tables set up.
Joe, it sounds like it's going to be a great event on August 6th and 7th. The website is SD Collectibles, and we'll see you down there. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
I'm tax attorney Adam Brewer. If you have a serious tax problem with the IRS or state of California, then you don't need a tax relief company, you need a tax attorney. Call or visit my website to schedule your free tax evaluation.
Home of Guiding Hands helps San Diego community in that we're a resource for families. A lot of times when families first identify that their child, their loved one, might have an intellectual or developmental disabilities, they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. And we're here to help guide people through that process, to show them what a thriving life their loved one can have. It's a passion I share, having a daughter with a disability.
I really love the place that I live at. Because of Home of Guiding Hands, I was able to move out of my parents' house and into a beautiful home that I love living in. And so if you have an independent living service coordinator, they will help you learn more about being independent, and they help guide you through different things. They've helped me with lots of encouragement and love. They've also given me an ILS worker who is an amazing person, and I love her so much. She's great. I could tell you the first, week or so, I wasn't feeling very confident in myself. The first couple of nights I was like, oh, this is scary. But I look back on it now and I'm like, this is so easy.
Main Street Living celebrates diverse abilities in partnership with Home of Guiding Hands, supporting the special needs community for over 55 years.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.